My worst, you mean my worst job of all time? Because no. I used to be a fucking exterminator, my friend, let me tell you. I haven't almost died on the job while streaming numerous times. I think the count of number of times I almost died on the job was 3? During the exterminator job, it was, yeah. Everyone gets the jams. Yeah, one time I almost fell off. One time I almost fell off a roof. One time I almost fell through someone's ceiling because they decided to send me for a spider job in someone's fucking attic. And I'm 6'1", 240. I'm a large man. I'm a very large man. Everyone else who worked at the company was like 5'5", 5'7". And no, they sent me to the fucking attic job, and I just, like, several times slipped off the fucking tiny fucking beams in the attic and almost crashed through the ceiling. No, I didn't get hazard pay. What do you think, this is a professional job? Not run by a bunch of assholes? $666. Hell yeah. I will say probably the best story that I have was this fucking one woman. I don't know if any of you know what a bug bomb is. You'd think so, wouldn't you? They probably were bonded and insured, but fuck it. So if any of you know what a bug bomb is. Yeah. So this was... We didn't have bug bombs. We were not a this wasn't like Orkin or an exterminator company you would have heard of. It was like a shitty local exterminator. Very low budget compared to the big boys of the industry, I guess you'd say. And so we didn't have bug bombs. All we had was just basically bug bomb in a can. And they didn't provide us with masks while we used them. No, that would just be fucking... That would just make fucking sense, you know, it's fucking great. Why would they give someone a mask while using a goddamn horribly toxic chemical in a spray can that you have to fill the entire house with? Anyway, so I get this fucking call for this woman. She says she has Mr. Stinkbug in her apartment. I'm not lying, she did say she had stink bugs. So I'm sure Mr. Stinkbug was among them. Of note, I didn't see a single bug in the apartment the entire time I was there, so... Fuck me, I guess. Maybe I'm the best exterminator ever. But, yeah, so she, I show up at her place. The time was like, it was one of those where it was like, I'll show up sometime between 1 and 3. And I showed up at like 1:45. I was running ahead of schedule. And I show up and no one answers the door. And so I'm knocking and knocking and knocking, and I'm like, well, the door's locked, I can't go in. I would have understood if they had just left, because we told them that, you know, they were going to have to vacate the apartment for like 8 hours. So I'm knocking and knocking and knocking and knocking on the door. And, eventually, someone opens the door. It's not the person who called to get the thing. It's her mom, and she's wearing nothing but a fucking towel, like it's fucking 70s porno. And I'm like, what, are you fucking kidding me? And I'm like, where's Raquel or whatever her fucking name was. She was like, oh, she isn't there. She isn't here right now. If you want to just wait here for a few minutes, I'm sure she'll be back soon. That's what she sounded like. That's definitely what she sounded like. Yeah, come over here and kill my mom. Her mom was Mr. Stinkbug the whole time. Fun fact. Yeah, so I literally just had to wait until, like, I was there for, like, almost a full hour. Just fucking waiting, because I had to wait for her to get back, because there were, like, fucking dogs and cats there, like a bunch of pets, and the pets couldn't be there either, obviously. They had to leave, too. So I'm just sitting there very awkwardly, just sitting on the couch. And then she finally shows up. After nearly an hour. And I'm like, okay, finally, you're goddamn here. So what you're gonna have to do is, I'm going to need you to raid Shadow Legends as one. You ever hit it with a Mr. Stinkbug before? She gets there and she packs up the dogs, and it takes her fucking forever. Like I said, she's got like 2 dogs, 2 cats. She has to wrangle everyone into the goddamn thing. She gets in, she gets everything into the thing, and like the cages that the dogs go into. And I tell her, hey, see, of note, you can't come in. I will point out that at this point I was already out as an open asexual, so I was there was no way, regardless, that I was going to fuck either of these women, but especially not because they're so fucking stupid. Like, anyone else might have enjoyed the 70s porno thing. Not me! No. And also, again, these women are so fucking stupid, why the hell would I ever want to associate with them? So she gets everything into the car, and I tell her, okay, you are not allowed to come back into the apartment for 8 hours. The stuff disperses, it won't, like, leave any residue or anything. Like, the dogs will be okay once you come back in or whatnot. So just, you can't come in for 8 hours while the stuff is still, like, active. And she says, but what do I do with the dogs then? And I'm like, that sounds like your fucking problem. He said, oh, we'll just go to the park then. I'm like, yeah, fucking go to the park for 8 hours. I don't fucking care. Just get out of the house. At this point, it was already 3 p.m. I was already past my thing. I was going to be late to my next job. And I hadn't even started fucking spraying the goddamn bug bomb yet. So the goddamn woman gets everything out of the car. I say, okay, see you later. And I start going from the back of the apartment. And this was kind of a linear, like, 2-bedroom apartment. Had, like, main bedroom on one end with a split off on the side with the second bedroom, bathroom on the other side of that. And then a long hallway with the living room on the other end of it. Basically only 3 rooms in the entire thing. Like, the living room and the kitchen were all the others. So I decided to start from the back so that when I was done, I could just be at the front door and run the fuck out. And remember, they didn't give us fucking safety masks or anything to stop us from breathing in the toxic, horrible chemicals that were inside the can that insta-kill fucking bugs. No. Surely you jest. So instead, I just basically had to pull my... there was no dad there. No. That would have actually been really funny. If just I start spraying and I just hear like, what the fuck is going on? No, I start spraying, and I have my shirt over my nose. It's not really helping anything, but it's fucking something, I guess. Better than fucking nothing. And so I'm in the bedroom, and I start spraying, and I hear the fucking front door open. And I say, well, why do I hear a door opening? And I just hear her fucking yelling, I forgot my heels. And I yell, leave immediately. And of course, when I yell, leave immediately, my shirt goes back down over my nose, and I breathe in a bunch of the fucking stuff. Like, oh, you think I fucking care? I'm willing to die for these heels. She fucking was, though. That's the thing. She was clearly coleslaw. I already know how to cook coleslaw. Damn. So she's like, I'm sorry. And she still runs in and grabs the fucking heel. I'm not in the living room yet, so it's not like she was affected by anything. Like, I was still in the back bedroom doing the spraying. The stuff is like a fucking cloud. It like sits there. So it wasn't like wafting into the living room quite yet. But, you know, fucking still. Maybe fucking don't do that. And so she grabs finally finds the fucking heels. They're in the living room for some reason. Like, good job. At least they weren't in the fucking bedroom. I would have loved to see her fucking run into the bedroom. And then, so I'm fucking hacking and coughing and fucking dying because I just inhaled the poo gas, you know. And I'm like, the show must go on. God damn it. And so I keep going. I get through the bedrooms, I get through the bathroom, I'm in the hallway that leads into the living room. The door opens again, and she screams, I forgot my dog's favorite toy, and I yelled, get the fuck out, you dumb bitch. Which is apparently not something you're supposed to yell on the job. But it is verbatim what I said. And her only response was, oh, I'm sorry. While she gets the toy, she didn't leave. Again, she didn't leave. She got the toy. I have, once again, because I stopped to scream at her, inhaled a large amount of the poo gas. And I am now, at this point, fairly certain that I am going to die. I mean, this was in 2015, so maybe, or 2014, so maybe she's dead now. I don't know. She might have Darwin awarded herself at some point after that in the future. Yeah, thankfully that was the last time she came in, but like, I still had to endure 2 full breaths of the horrible toxic bug bomb chemicals. And I leave, and I'm feeling faint and fucking short of breath. And I just had to go sit down on the bench outside. And she's in the car with her mom, fucking just yucking it up. And I wanted to just go fucking stab her in her fucking dumb bitch face. Like, what the fuck? And I am sure, I didn't check this, obviously. I had no way to check this, but I am certain that she went after, like, fucking... She had to have gone back in after, like, 5 hours or something. Like, I'm certain she did. So maybe she's dead now. That's the fucking dream. I don't know. Like, looking back on it, I was, like, just fucking pissed off at the time. But looking back on it, I think that there were some actual legitimate health and safety violations going on at that company. Because we also weren't allowed to wear, like, protective gear when dealing with wasps and yellow jackets. And the explanation I was given for that is, we don't want the customers to think that we're scared. But, like, I was scared. Like, I was definitely scared. Just walking up to fucking angry fucking wasps and hornets. And yellow jackets. Without protective equipment on. Yeah, I was at that job for 3 months? 4 months. It was August to December of 2014. Literally the only... I don't know. I don't know what kind of monsters that... Oh, also I almost died because they gave me an incredibly shitty work truck. It was like this 2-wheel drive, like, shitty, like, Chevy Colorado with, like, bald tires. And so I was driving on the Golden Highway between Golden and Boulder, and at one point my tires slipped, and I flew off the highway into a ditch, flew out of the ditch, and then landed on top of a hill. And somehow I was completely unharmed from that. I think if I had, like, landed... I think if we had, like, hit the ditch head on, I probably would have been injured pretty heavily. But somehow I pulled off some fucking goddamn Dukes of Hazzard bullshit. Just, like, soared up in the air and landed on the hill. In the truck. In the middle of a fucking snowstorm, obviously. That's why that happened. Yeah, Blues Brothers style. Again, the only reason why I stayed at that job for as long as I did, because I wanted to quit after the first, like, 2 weeks of the job. I knew that I hated it, and the icing on the cake was that I had an hour commute each way. So I just got to sit there on the bus and think about what I'd done every day. Whole thing. But the pay was amazing. That's the only reason why I stayed there. Something late stage capitalism. But I was legitimately making a couple... At the peak, I was making a couple $1,000s a week. Because we would get like a 70% commission from each job that we would do, and each job would be like $70 to $180 or so. So the pay was great. And I couldn't turn that down until it got literally to the point where I was like, I fucking can't. I can't. The real tipping point was during the final month I was there. I was really sick with, I guess it was just like a cold or something. I don't know what the exact illness I had was, but I had a really bad cough. Nose was constantly running. I wasn't running a fever, but I was like constantly feeling very frail, and they kept making me come into work. And every time I would go into someone's house, they'd be like, "Should you be here, man?" I don't know if you... And I was like, "I'm sorry, they're making me come to you. You have a mouse somewhere in here. I need to find it." Yeah, it was a real fucking shitty operation. I managed to escape it alive. So yeah, streaming. No matter how bad anything that might ever happen to me when I'm streaming is, I can say pretty definitively that it is not the worst job I've ever had. Fairly certain that will never be topped. It would be A fuck of a thing to happen to me if we found a fucking worse job for me someday. For a buddy to bring me amethyst, Sam. I don't have any amethyst. Oh, they were absolutely all about the profits, like that. Their best technician lived in Deer Trail, Colorado. Deer Trail is about an hour and 30 minutes or so east of Denver. It is like literal middle of nowhere territory on the Eastern Plains. But like, it was the only tech that worked at the company that really had a fucking clue what they were doing. So the owner of the company and like the head honcho guy kind of was forced to let him like use the company truck for his long ass daily commute. And oh my god, he was like so openly upset about the fact that he was paying for the guy's gas from Deer Trail to fucking North Denver every day. I don't know. Small joy is in finding them being fucked up. Also, the company was run by Mormons. I should probably also mention that. I know it. I don't think it actually matters at all that that was the case, but like, no. See, that was the thing, is I was never really that good at the job in terms of like actually like knowing what the fuck I was doing. I wanted to like learn, but there was never any training available because the boss man would always be busy. That explains the pay. Sure. There you go. I don't know. It was a bad time all around. And yeah, mostly my problem was with mouse jobs, because the way that the traps that we used were the kind that had like the bricks of like fake food inside of them, and the food was the type that the mouse would eat it and then it would like dehydrate them to death was the way that it worked. It was a weird thing. But I always got what I felt were too few traps. The traps that we used were these cheap plastic things that, if a person had a dog, were usually pretty easily ripped open by the dog. So anytime someone had a dog, I had to like take it into account and be like, okay, so I can't put these anywhere that the dog could even theoretically get to it, because I know that if someone says, yeah, this is a spot the dog can't get to, and then the dog gets to it, they'll blame me. I don't think the stuff was that toxic to dogs. It wasn't like an instant death sentence for a dog if they ate one of the bricks. But still, you know, probably best if they don't. Probably best if you don't eat the fucking dehydration mouse killing brick. Because your dumbass dog doesn't know the difference between that and food. Or cats eating the mice. That I don't know about. I know that it wasn't like a poison that stuck around in the body, so it wasn't one of those that like... I know that there's problems sometimes with pest control where like, you know, a mouse will get poisoned and then an owl will eat the corpse of the mouse and the owl will die. I know it wasn't that kind of... Honestly, I wish that they had been a little more brutal with the methods that they used, because that was the biggest problem I always had with, like, the wasp jobs. Is that the stuff that we used for wasps and hornets didn't insta-kill the wasps and hornets. It was a kind of slow burn thing where you spray the nest and get it on some of the wasps and hornets, and then they go to the nest and it gets on all the wasps and hornets, and then they all die like 2 days later, and it like kills the whole nest, which makes sense, very smart, but also meant that I was just constantly pissing off wasps and hornets. With, again, no, like, protective gear on or anything. What I would always do is, I would, even in, like, September, it was, like, fucking 90 degrees out, I would be wearing my pest control winter jacket from the company. And they would be like, "Aren't you hot?" And I'd be like, "Yes! Yes, I'm too hot, but this is all I can do." There's a pro tip for you. If you're scared to death of wasps and hornets, don't get an exterminator job. But I will say this, I never got stung. I am maybe the only person who ever worked at that company that didn't get stung a single time on the job. Because I was overcautious. Fuck yeah. You call it being overcautious, I call it not getting stung by wasps and hornets. Ironclad battle tactic, if ever there was one. I tell you what. Yeah, you call it being fucking smart. That's Alright, those star fruits are ready, but I'm gonna wait till all 5 of them are ready so I can harvest them all at the same time. I will say that one of the few nice things is that we didn't kill bees. If anyone called in with a job that was actually bees, we just straight up called a beekeeper and sent them there instead. Hornets and yellow jackets, though, fuck off. We kill all those fuckers. No, we're talking about time I worked as an exterminator. Those are still going. How about down yonder? Extreme beekeeping. The kids can't do regular beekeeping. It's not extreme enough for them. All the millennials now are doing extreme beekeeping. Who wants the flamethrower? Who wants the what? Not inaccurate. It was interesting. Oh, it was very interesting. Like, it provided me a lot of horrible, traumatizing memories. Not great. Not gonna say it was great. And again, at least the pay was fucking magnificent. Yeah, if y'all think I drink too much now, you should have fucking seen me back then. My literal routine was just hour on the bus to get to work. Work insanely shitty exterminator job for 8 hours or more sometimes. Hour-long bus ride back. And usually on the bus ride back, I would stop at a bar and just fucking get goddamn demolished for the evening. And then work through my hangover on the bus ride there the next day. It really was, yeah, hazard pay. Should have stopped at the bar before. It was at 6 a.m. None of them were really open. That was the problem. I think the weirdest one I ever got was there. Apparently, there's just. It was like an Orthodox Jewish family in Boulder, Colorado, north of Denver. And when I say Orthodox Jewish, I mean like really, really Orthodox Jewish. Like full lifestyle, everything. Just in, and they just were there. And hell yeah. I'm certainly not against you living fucking Orthodox Jewish lifestyle in Boulder. I'm not gonna stop you. But it was supremely awkward. Because they had bed bugs. And I just didn't have answers to any of the questions they were asking me. Also, I lost my company phone on their front lawn, and I still don't know where it went. They never got that phone back. I literally just kept lying to them and saying the phone was out of battery every time they tried to call. And they had to call my cell phone instead. And then at the end of the job, once I quit, I was just like, oh, by the way, yeah, the phone got lost 2 months ago, bye. And that's because fuck them. Oh, secret note. Yeah, this'll be my last day on here. Yeah. Oh, by the way, fuck you. Yeah, I'll end this with probably my favorite story from the Exterminator job, since that's apparently the topic of the day. So I go to this. I mostly worked the North Denver area, so I was in like the very, very white suburbs. Like Thornton, Broomfield, Westminster, like the very white parts of the Denver metro area. It wasn't quite as gentrified in 2014 as it is now, but up in that area, it definitely fucking was. 69 viewers, nice. So I get a call up in like, it was like in Westminster or something, to like, you know, this was one, there were lots of like newly built neighborhoods generic white people neighborhoods. Every house was the same. Whitest of mayonnaise bullshit. Every house looked the same. It was all goddamn nuclear families. Fucking husband, wife, 2 kids, a dog. And I did not like any of these people. It's not my type of scene. I might be white, but I'm not that white. So I get to this house, it's a spider call. The ooze bus. It's a spider call, and the first thing I notice when I get to the house... I met the Simpsons. I wish these people were as cool as the Simpsons, quite frankly. So I get to the house, and I didn't mind spider calls. Like spider calls were easily my favorite calls. Because usually you didn't even really see any spiders the whole time. Like that was the fewest bugs that you ever fucking saw. Oh god, you fucking fuck you fucking fuck. Get out of here. Fuck off, you stupid fucking pieces of shit. Get out of here. Okay, let's try that again. Boom. Okay. Take 2. So yeah, spider calls are my favorite. And I don't have any like fear of spiders. I'm generally pretty chill with spiders. I don't mind. I don't mind spiders in the slightest. That's... And we were never, like, we don't live in like a... Colorado's not an area with like tons of black widows or brown recluses or anything, so I was never doing anything dangerous. Unlike some other shit, which I've mentioned. The first thing I notice when I get outside their door is that there is just this just fucking enormous spider web right outside the front door. It's like taking up half the fucking distance between like the front of the porch and the house itself. Big fucking spider web. And there's a spider on it. It's not a big spider. It's like I guess it's as spiders go, it was fairly sizable, but it wasn't like a horrible poisonous fucking spider. So, well, I'm about to answer your question, Gus. So I'm like, are you fucking kidding? Like, who let this fucking happen? And so I get in, and like I said, it's a fucking dumbass white person nuclear family. They got two fucking kid boys, like 5, 6 years old or some shit. White mom, white dad. Living the suburbia fucking white person dream. And the kids are like, oh, the exterminator's here, yeah. I don't know if they'd seen another fucking human being ever before, because no one was ever that excited to see fucking me, the exterminator, fucking showing up. And the guy was like, yeah, okay, you're gonna... So yeah, what's your plan here? And I told, well, what we generally do is I've got my spray can here. I just spray all the baseboards, all the corners of the rooms. It's a protective, it basically makes a protective coating that will kill any spiders eventually that touch it. And you know, it'll be non-toxic to the kids and any dog, so yeah, it's fine. It's pretty unobtrusive compared to some exterminator stuff. And he was like, oh, okay, cool. But also, Dennis and Menace. It's a right, officer. God, no, it'd be awesome if you named your fucking kids Dennis and Menace. Then the guy fucking says to me, oh, by the way, just don't wanna bring it up to it, but so the fucking spider outside, the kids have decided that that's their pet. I said, you have a dog? And they were like, yes, we have a dog. But the kids really like the spider out on the front porch for some reason. They've like decided that it's their new pet spider, and I'm like, okay. So you don't want me to spray the spider on the front porch? And the guy was like, no, 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 no. And he's like, yeah, yeah, no, they really like that spider. They even named the fucking spider. And I said, what did they name the spider? And he said, Charlotte. And I said, you know that story didn't end very well for the spider, right? And he got really mad at me. And then I sprayed the spider. And that's our stream. And that's the end of our stream, everyone.